My sister-in-law said I'm replacing her because I do things for her daughter.
That doesn't make any sense.
I have a niece, Gigi, 10, who is the daughter of my brother Chris and his wife Anna.
Got it.
Anna became disabled when Gigi was 4, triggered by an infection, and ever since she has been mostly using a wheelchair. By the way, this comes from Helpful is Haunt. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, obviously, this has been hard on their family. Anna was the center of their home, even though she had a demanding job. She had to quit the job, which was tough on their finances, and she is no longer able to be as involved with Gigi's school and extracurricular activities due to her fatigue and accessibility issues. I help as much as I can, school pickup, driving her to dance practice, going to school events if Chris can't make it, such as chaperoning field trips. My husband and I even took Gigi to Disneyland with us over the summer. I only do what I'm asked to do and within the boundaries of what I have time for, as I have my own child. Just whatever I can do to make things easier for their family and for Gigi so she doesn't miss out. Gigi's school is organizing a Christmas market, and she and her friends volunteered to run a booth, which basically means the parents end up helping. She asked me to be part of it because Chris is really busy with work around the holiday period. I confirmed with Chris that this was the case, and he was really enthusiastic about me doing it because it involves crafts, which he doesn't have time for. He is helping construct the physical booth, though.
Okay, that seems like way more intensive than some crafts.
And some crafts.
It's like, I don't have time for paper mache. But building an entire booth?
You want a whole booth? I'm on it.
I'm your guy.
So I got my daughter involved, and Gigi and her friends came over to my house to make stuff for the booth all together. We are even making costumes. I thought I was doing a good thing, and Gigi seems so excited. But on Friday, Anna called me and shooed me out. Apparently, she was never okay with me being involved with the booth. She said Chris building it was enough, and I should have just stayed out of it. I said that Gigi asked me because they needed adults to help out on the day, but Anna said she was sick of me taking over all the mom stuff and that Gigi needed to learn that if her parents couldn't make it, that's just the way it is. She can't just replace Anna with me.
That's so messed up.
I feel like that, obviously was a very mean thing.
Yeah.
I do think it just comes from a place of feeling so left out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I almost want to be like, maybe instead of just going to all those things, could we have just been like, how can I help you be at those things? I told her that seems unfair to Gigi, to not be able to do things just because one of her parents isn't able to be there. There have been times I've taken Gigi to birthday parties that need supervision at places like trampoline parks, or taken her to dance competitions where she didn't want to be the only one there without a female adult to help her change or do her hair and makeup. If I hadn't done those things, Gigi probably would have missed out. Anna said, well, that's Gigi's reality. She can't just ignore the fact that Anna is her mother and this is the family that she was born into, not mine. I ended up telling Anna that I never meant to disrespect her, but I made a commitment to Gigi and the other parents, so I was going to do the booth. After that, if she and Chris want me to step back, then I will. Honestly, I'm really upset about the whole thing. I have my own child. It's not like I'm trying to play mom to Gigi. I just want her to feel supported and not miss out on anything. Chris does his best, but he works crazy hours to support Anna and Gigi. I thought I was doing the right thing by giving them a village to help out, as Anna's family isn't local. I thought since Gigi would come to me for these things, we were doing right by her. It seems unfair that she should not have the same experiences as her friends because of something out of everyone's control. But I'm not her parent. Anna is. If Anna doesn't mind Gigi missing out, maybe that's not my business. My own mom thinks Anna is being unfair to Gigi with this request. But my mom was the super involved type, and I know there are tons of kids whose parents don't make it to everything. So maybe we're just an overbearing type, and I went too far? Am I the a-hole? Comment 1, not the a-hole. Hopefully Anna will cool off and be able to see it from your point of view. I think you've got to approach this generously and see it as a part of being disabled. It's not about you. It's her grief at the life she could have had and expected to before this life-destroying infection. Now she feels like she can't be a good mother to her daughter, and she feels like you're outdoing her with her own kid. It's not about you. It's about Anna's powerlessness and grief. It's about the illness and disability. Let it cool off, and then see if you can approach it from a place of support and understanding. And edit, because I see this coming a lot. The reason the craft session was at my house is that one of the other girls was supposed to host it, but their house is small for all the girls to take over the whole living room. And mom also has another child and was worried about supervising all the kids the whole day. She messaged me privately and asked if I had the space and time to host, and I did. Anna and Chris's place doesn't really have the space in the common area to accommodate the craft making, and I know how stressed Chris is by playdates and probably wouldn't have wanted it at their house. I thought I was helping out that mom by saying yes. And by the way, you guys should always say yes to listening to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime. Just a little bit left.
I think that you came from a place of good intentions, and Anna is unable to see that because she's hurting emotionally. And I think you just go to Chris, you go to Anna, have a little conversation. And you say, hey, I realize now that I've overstepped and I should have checked in with both of you. And, whether or not you think that's true, I think it's just nice for Anna to hear it.
It's just a good thing to do now.
Yeah.
I
don't personally think you overstepped, but I think Anna would appreciate it. And just say, like, I want to do what's right for Anna, or what's right for Gigi. I don't think that just not having her parents show up to things is the answer. But I want to help you be there for her, too.
I say yes to most things, not because I'm trying to push anyone out or take over, but I guess being a stay-at-home mom to one kid, I feel like it's only fair I should take on a bit of extra kid stuff for the other parents where I can. And edit 2, for anyone asking about Anna being driven to things, driving Anna would mean I would need Chris's car, which he needs for work because he needs to haul stuff around. We can't swap cars because mine can't be used for that stuff. So for me to drive Anna in Chris's car, Chris needs to also not be busy, in which case he wouldn't need help. Chris does drive Anna to dance recitals and sports activities when he is available. And that's the end of that story.
I'm assuming that Anna needs the space for, like, a wheelchair and stuff. And maybe that car, maybe Chris's car is already, accommodating and stuff, and it's got that whole thing that you can do with wheelchairs and stuff in cars. Yeah. I would say the answer here is that you have to start working towards getting a car, or they have to work towards getting a car that,
I don't know, that one makes it a lot tougher.
Yeah, which is really hard, but like...
But hopefully that's something that y'all can figure out some work around.
My parents are way better than my wife's, and she's loving it.
Good for her.
Me and my wife are both 30. After dating for 2 years, we got engaged in April of 24. The conversation happened on the couch. Then I used a Chinese website to build the ring she wanted. When we let everyone know, we mentioned we were going to have a small wedding at a park. Later in the year, date to be decided to save some cash. By the way, this comes from Snoodux565, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we were dealing with 2 cars, a decade old, and a house from the 1800s. Sick.
Whoa.
Saving money for the next big thing is always a priority for us. My parents were ecstatic and wanted to know how many of my family could fly out to us. They're all on the East Coast. We're in the Midwest. Her family said that was cool. Then launched into all the drama happening at her mom's job as an admin for a city. We determined the date would be a Veterans Day because I'm a veteran and I do what I want. And we both get the day off work. My parents and an aunt bought their tickets. My wife's family said they'd see if they could make it because her parents normally do a cookout or something that weekend. That's so funny to be like, I don't know. We were like thinking about hosting a party. Ooh.
So we didn't have any set plans, but I still don't think we're gonna make it.
We just kind of want to keep our options open.
But if they say they're definitely not doing a cookout,
then yeah, like for
we'll
sure
be there.
My wife told them if they couldn't make it, it wasn't a big deal. We'd text them pics of the wedding. That's insane. That's insane. They're like, oh, your wedding? That's a pretty big deal. We'll let you know. I knew her parents were pretty difficult and had been encouraging her not to take crap from them because she wasn't financially dependent. I'll be damned if someone I love gets their feelings hurt. But this really set the tone for any future relationship I have with them. Her dad offered to be the officiant, and my wife was pretty happy about that because she had seen him do other weddings and really liked how he did them. She sent him a little 3 to 5 minute script of what we wanted said, and I figured that was that. 2 weeks before the wedding, mother-in-law told my wife they may not be able to make it to the wedding because they had to work and didn't want to pull her 2 brothers out of school. Side note, neither of them worked on Veterans Day, and there was no school. It was an easy 3-hour Midwest drive for the afternoon. At the end of the call, mother-in-law talked about how father-in-law officiating might mean the whole plan had to change. Little did that witch know my brother is effing officiated. Mother-in-law had made noise a couple of times about possibly not making it to something we told them about 6 months in advance. I figured mother-in-law and father-in-law were going to attempt some control game, so I asked my brother if he would back up officiate in case they did. My brother is a huge fan of telling off a-hole parents. He's a teacher, so he was chomping at the bit. In-laws' tune changed over the course of 15 minutes when we told them it wasn't a big deal and that my brother would officiate. Part of the reason we were doing the wedding cheap was that our roof had started to have a lot of shingle issues and was about 20 years old. Getting it replaced wiped out our savings accounts, so we were rebuilding as best we could. Whenever a member of my wife's family gets married, father-in-law gives them a couple $1,000s. He said he'd do the same for us when we announced our engagement. That never materialized. And when my wife mentioned it 4 or 5 months later, he said it was because we went with a free wedding, so we wouldn't need the money. He knew about the roof. He knew it drained the accounts. He knew both our cars were over a decade old. We aren't living paycheck to paycheck, but a down payment for a new car or a major house car work would wipe us out. I just realized that the only wedding gift we got from anyone on our side of the family was a plank of wood charcuterie board. Uneffing real. Must have been having too much fun getting married to give a crap. 2 days before the wedding, mother-in-law said she wouldn't be able to help my wife get ready because hotels were too expensive. So they'd drive down in the morning and get there an hour before the wedding. My wife said it was whatever, and she was good at doing her own makeup. She cried a bit at that one. Aw, I feel so bad for your wife. Mother-in-law later found a hotel, but still wasn't going to help with my wife getting ready because my mother-in-law is a C-word.
I was like, I thought your mom was cool.
Yeah, no. OP's mom's cool. Mother-in-law, not cool. Any interaction I have with her ensures she leaves frustrated and understands if I were allowed to fight her, I would. By this point, I had already given my parents a heads up that my wife's parents are crap, and a short rundown. My dad advised me not to instigate until after the wedding. My mom said she'd help my wife get ready because she loves my wife more than her own parents do, because her parents suck at being parents to her. The wedding went off more or less as expected. Father-in-law officiated, but the 3 to 5 minute vow thing turned into about 10 minutes because he decided to ad-lib about some crap. I wasn't listening at that point, except for the I do part. Her family, except her sister, skipped the reception because they just wanted to go home. After shopping the entire day prior. Why did you shop the entire day prior? What was the point of that?
No, they just don't make sense.
That was more important than hanging out with their daughter the day before her wedding. By the way, it's really important to us that you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
No.
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 You've got
so
cool
real.
parents.
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Your parents, pretty cool. Her parents,
Pretty bad.
not.
Pretty uncool.
And, yeah, don't change your wedding. Your brother can officiate.
Well, they already had the wedding. Father-in-law officiated.
But you had your backups. Like, you seemed like you were prepared for
them
the
to
worst
suck.
if it was to happen.
Yeah.
And you also were going to stand your ground.
And maybe we could just start to distance from these people.
Yeah. And congrats. You're married.
Congrats. Got a new family now. OP says they lived about 4 hours from us at the time. We had visited twice. They had never visited us. When they started pestering us to visit more, we told them they could come up and we would visit down. Mother-in-law said she isn't the kind of mom that goes to visit her kids. They can come to her except my 3 sister-in-laws who get visited regularly and are further away. My parents are about 18 hours by car and kind of piss me off because they come visit us all the dang time. I have to make sure I'm not a hypocrite, so we visit them back, which is okay because they and my brother love hanging out with my wife.
I just like that he's like,
Yeah.
they live 18 hours away and they're making the drive.
They're over all the
They wanna
time.
see me?
Ah.
I can see how it could be a lot.
Yeah.
Though.
But it seems like you got good people
Always good
around
to have
you.
good
You got a
people.
support
And
system.
I bet your wife is just so happy to have
Yeah.
those good people after just not feeling that support
from
for so
her
long.
family. Absolutely.
Let her have it.
Let her have it, please.
My sister-in-law made an insensitive comment about my husband, so I answered back.
Just talk behind your back, honestly.
Last night, my husband, our 2-year-old daughter, and I were at my in-laws. My sister-in-law and her husband and kids were there too. The topic of one of their cousin's kids going to university came up. By the way, this comes from Active Storage 1275, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we talked about how going to a good university helps in networking. I mentioned how I had gotten my first business analyst job because my interviewer had also gone to U of T. At this point, my sister-in-law chimed in with University of Toronto, Mississauga, right? So not the actual one. My husband said politely that it's the same thing, and she just shrugged. I asked her where she went. She said she went to University of Toronto and added St. George campus. I then asked how she's using her degree. I knew she's a stay-at-home mom, so maybe that was an a-hole thing to do. She said she chose to be a stay-at-home mom and kind of stopped talking to me. My husband thinks I was out of line. Admittedly, I didn't think it through when I said it. I just said what came to mind. He says her question was tactless, but not malicious. I said it was rude, and that's what mattered. The premise of it was just wrong. I have been reconsidering it. She has texted him about how out of line I was. I told her it was a misunderstanding between everyone and to let it go. And we have some relevant comments. Comment 1. Not the a-hole. She had something to say about the campus you went to and was 100% being rude because she felt like hers was better. Your question was valid. What is she doing with her degree? She sounds like one of those people who like to talk about everyone but can't stand it when it's given back. Commenter 2 says, not the a-hole. The U of T thing might not make sense to a lot of Redditors. The St. George campus is the main one, while Mississauga and Scarborough can be seen as lesser, which is what the sister-in-law was likely implying. Yes, OP went low, but really only after the sister-in-law did first.
I just want to say, Mississauga sounds like they heard Mississippi and wanted something like that in their own country.
Maybe.
That's my theory.
It sounded like they were drunk, trying to take Mississippi, like Mississauga.
Just put a really heavy drawl on it. Comment 3. She started it. She deserved it. F around and find out. Commenter 4 says, not the a-hole. I will always hate people who can dish it out but cannot take it. She wanted to put you down and couldn't deal with the clapback. In my opinion, rude is only the person who started it. Sure, we could all be perfect adults and be above it all, but that just reinforces the rude behavior. Your husband is like those teachers that turn a blind eye until the bullied kids fight back. Commenter 5 says, soft, everyone sucks here. She was rude to imply your degree is worth less than hers. You were rude to imply that you think she's wasted her degree. You didn't have to take the bait. OP responds, I know, if I could do it again, I'd probably be more graceful in my response. We acted like immature kids in front of our own kids. Comment 6, you were both being snarky and catty, but she started it and you finished it, or so you thought. You both should apologize. OP says, I'm honestly ready to apologize if she is.
No.
And we have an update.
Here we go. I'll apologize if she does. See, this is the issue here.
OP didn't start this, though.
Stop. Get out of here.
OP
I can't.
didn't.
I can't with this mentality, Carly. It's too toxic for me.
I was heartened by all the not the a-hole votes. I read a lot of the comments and really appreciated those saying I wasn't the instigator, so I was in the clear. As I read more comments and the way my sister-in-law was being mentioned, it made me feel bad. I don't blame the comments. They were only going by the context I had provided. But I took the fact that my sister-in-law being criticized heavily was making me uneasy as a cue to mend the relationship. She isn't a bad person. She and I aren't BFFs, but I've always been cordial. The not the a-hole verdict gave me peace of mind that my reply wasn't totally uncalled for.
But you also went on a platform where everyone's a little petty. It's too much. Just apologize. Yeah. This isn't something to be upset. We should have not posted about this.
If this was like a first interaction and she doesn't do this all the time, it's like, yeah, we could have just been like, hey, I'm sorry. And hopefully you just get an I'm sorry back. If she does this all the time.
That's her personality. That's her way of life.
Then it was more called for. So I asked my husband if she was still messaging him. He said she just sent a final wall of text about how hurt she was and then gone quiet. He told her that her remark was thoughtless. I told him I was willing to apologize if she did too. Last night, I got a call from her. She said she realized that her comment about UTM had come across as insulting, and that was not her intention. There we go. We got it. She said she was really proud of me and my career and how I juggled it with being a mother and apologized for her remark.
Now let's jiggle it, guys. Let's go. I love forgiveness. I love it. Gosh.
And I would love if you guys went and listened to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime.
This was really a minimal thing to forgive someone over.
Yeah, I agree with you. We probably didn't need to go to Reddit for all of this. We could have just waited a day and it would have kind of just fixed.
Yeah, but in the moment, dude, you get so
it's heated.
What am I supposed to do with all these emotions?
Especially when it's your husband's sister, so he has to kind of listen to her a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. All right, how's it go? Do they make up? Do they kiss? What happens?
Definitely kiss. OP continues. I thanked her and said my comment about her degree was out of line. That she's an awesome mother and my remark had zero thought behind it. It was just me saying whatever came to mind. She broke down a bit, and that honestly made me feel terrible. I teared up too, and we just agreed to put this behind us. As I mentioned in my original post, my reply was instinctive. I don't think she's wasting her degree, and I hope her comment had equally no thought behind it. But I'm glad I patched it up with her. And some final comments. Comment 1, there really wasn't another way to interpret that, was there? Comment 2 says, sister-in-law feels little, so she wants to make OP feel little too. There's lots of degrees of this, from veritable strangers trying to make people feel little, which is prime a-hole behavior. Then there is your family, where someone may be feeling little for dozens of reasons and lashes out and then gets KO'd by the response. It's not cool to lash out. It's not unexpected when you get a proportional response back. But with the people you care about, there's always room for apologies and correcting behavior going forward. Someone replies, can we please just encourage people to be kind and forgiving? This wasn't some years-long harmful pattern, of which this was the latest example of. At least no such thing was mentioned. She did apologize, and it seemed sincere, and went on to compliment OP. I'm even on board with OP's initial comment, as I really think rude people, even unintentionally rude people, should not be protected from consequences of their behavior. Why are people so quick to hurt others and keep grudges?
Katie made a really good point. Oh, that was actually sincere. That's how apologies go. You gotta go to level 2. Not just don't stay on the surface. You gotta go down a little bit.
I snapped at my father-in-law, all because a tub of mayonnaise.
Because of what?
Little bit weird title, but it's true, and I'm perplexed, LOL. This happened last night when my wife, 35, and I, 30 male, had plans to get together with both of our families and have dinner at our house. By the way, this comes from FunMaze 1076, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley. I prefer Duke's mayonnaise.
And I'm Vincent.
I prefer veganese. We have bi-weekly hangouts, so this isn't anything special. only twice a week. We made burgers with a few sides, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, steamed veggies, and fries that people could choose from. My wife is the main cook in the house and has always been a fan of it since she was a child, so she makes delicious meals all the time with outstanding ingredients. Last night, she made Swiss cheeseburgers with homemade mayo, minced garlic, finely chopped onion, pepper, salt, and Italian seasoning, paired with lettuce or basil, whichever a family member preferred. That sounds so good.
That sounds really good. And Swiss cheese is hard to do if you don't bake it, so good luck on that.
Her father has taken home leftovers before, since we would not only cook a decent amount, but because, as said, her parents love her food that much. I can't blame them because I eat what we save as leftovers every single time. Ha 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 ha. When her and I were cleaning up and putting away the food for leftovers, her father asked if he could take home my wife's tub of homemade mayo since he thinks it'll pair well with the food he eats. Mainly a bunch of meats. Her dad is a huge grill guy. My wife told him no, that she's saving it for when she needs it for other dinners. The tub isn't even a regular size mayonnaise jar. It's a 1-gallon size container because she stocks in bulk with not only singular ingredients, but when she makes homemade foods such as sauces, she will bulk up on it like it's no tomorrow because she knows she'll use it all in about a month and a half to 2 months.
2 questions I need right now. 1, how much do you have left of this mayonnaise?
Yeah.
And 2, do we not have little containers? If I'm from the South and I made something real sweet.
Yeah, I could put a little bit. But he was asking for the whole thing.
Oh, hell nah.
Her father said that she couldn't possibly need the entire container if she's only used what looks like 1/4 of it, and that he'd make sure it's used. But my wife told him basically what I just said, that she stocks up because she knows she'll use it. She also told him that if he took it for himself, then she would have to go out and buy more ingredients, which would be a waste of money. Why doesn't he just make his own? He scoffed and said that what she buys is cheap anyway, that him taking the sauce wouldn't hurt our bank accounts. He then opened the fridge, took out the gallon container, and searched around our cabinets for storage containers while we were asking him what he was doing. He's just stealing it? He's just stealing it out in the open? He didn't bother to answer, which was irritating. He got a medium-sized plastic container and a spoon from our utensil drawer. I asked him what he was doing, and he started untwisting the gallon's lid to dip out some. He told me that since he won't be able to take the whole gallon home, he'll scoop out a good portion for him and my mother-in-law. I could tell that my wife seemed pissed off over this, and I was already on my breaking point because I can't stand when someone doesn't want another person to do something and that person completely disregards their pleas. I think most people can't stand that.
What's your deal here, also? Do you want this gallon of mayonnaise or a relationship with me?
I feel like that's what's on the line here. I feel like it's dad or the mayonnaise.
Yep, and if he's like mayonnaise, I would give him the gallon and say, I never want to see you again.
You clearly want it more than anyone.
Man, this is such a random thing to be.
He's pretty manic about it.
Yeah, I get if it was like steak, salmon, like a good cut of meat.
What is in this mayonnaise? Presumably just eggs and oil.
Also, like he eats a lot of meat, which he's like, oh yeah, this mayo's gonna go really well with all the meat that I've been eating.
See, that's what I'm not buying too, because he's definitely selling it on the side.
Ooh.
I told him with a stern tone, yet you could clearly tell I was frustrated. Father-in-law's name. Wife said no. It's literally that simple, and for you to disregard her request to not take her food is actually effing ridiculous. If you scoop any of it out, then I won't have you, mother-in-law, or any of my wife's siblings over again. You truly won't be able to have any homemade sauces. We really don't need people disrespecting us, even if they think it's not a big deal. My mother-in-law came in just as I was speaking to him. She stated that I'm an ungrateful host because my wife's father just appreciates his daughter's cooking so much, and he backed her up. But I said, we both appreciate that. But when someone doesn't want you to do something, why the F do it? That's like a basic following that a child in kindergarten can even comprehend. Both of them just scoffed, grabbed their things, and left. My wife doesn't have an issue with what I said, but I personally do. Was I being too harsh? It's really not like it'd be a huge deal if someone wanted a bit of my wife's homemade food or ingredients, but he didn't even ask. And when we both explained to him why he couldn't have any, he still disregarded it and tried to get some. I think what I'm ticked off at was the disrespect towards his own fully grown daughter. I'm ticked off at my mother-in-law and what she said to me too. How can I be ungrateful when he was the one who was being disrespectful? My wife got a text about an hour ago from her mom saying, we'll have to rethink if we come to Thanksgiving. If we do, make sure OP isn't there. A shame we couldn't get a grab of the mayo. Stop bringing up dang mayo. Stop it.
I think I have an idea of what's actually happening.
But what you know what you should bring up? The fact that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
That is annoying just because I've recently been around one in a family complex.
Yeah.
And after realizing the type of person they are, everything that they do and say has to be geared and aimed towards their pure happiness. And if it's not and it's slightly off, then nope, I'm done with this. And you mean nothing to me because you couldn't please me.
Yeah, which is what we're seeing here. She hasn't responded to it, but she's baffled by it, and so am I. All of this because my mother-in-law's husband decided to act childish. Am I the a-hole for the way I responded and for now causing this drama? What should my wife and I do about our parents? And edit for anyone wondering or asking, it's not homemade mayonnaise. Whoa!
Whoa.
She didn't even make it homemade?
Shut the front door. That was the whole thing she said earlier.
You
said
said
she made
you made
it.
homemade mayonnaise. You're a freaking liar.
Did I lead you guys astray? What?
She
Let me
buys
go back.
store-bought in bulk so it can last longer, so she won't have to keep buying or worry about having to use X amount in X amount of time. Comment 1 says not the a-hole. Your wife said no. Simple as that. Her father was disrespectful and childish. He caused the drama, and her mother is continuing it. You simply stood up for your wife when she was being bullied. Reply, this isn't about mayo. It's about her dad doing whatever he wants, like an a-hole. I wouldn't respond and only make a small Thanksgiving without them on the guest list. If they decide to show, I'd tell them that we rethought Thanksgiving too and we didn't make enough to share and close the door in their faces. But that's the end of the story, folks.
Nope.